That's right, it's a Twister, and if you want to create chaos on the battlefield, the Twister may be the spell for you. What's up, YouTube? Zero here, and today I have a legendary spell review of the Twister in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. In this video, I'm going to go through the overview of the two Twisters that I'm using. That's right, I'm using two because I'm the spell shot. Then I'll get into some more gameplay. I'll talk about the perks of utilizing the Twister, the elements you could get the Twister in. Then I'll talk about where you can go to grind for the Twister if you're looking for this legendary spell drop. And at the end of the video, I'll get into Fate or Hate. Is this spell fated to be in the Fate Maker's inventory, or are you going to hate it and should you throw it away immediately? If you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Tiny Tina's Wonderlands content. I do a bunch of other RPGs, so feel free to check those out as well. Without further ado, remember to move as you're casting the Twister.
Cow. I gotta go, Julia. We got cows. Another cow.
Actually, I think that was the same one.
Let's go through the overview of the two Twisters I'm using. Again, I am a spell shot, so I have two Twisters equipped. The Twister is a Conjura spell. I have the Ramming Twister and the Jacketed Twister. So the Ramming Twister is a chaotic, so it's going to be dealing a little bit more damage. The Twister in general is going to get a multiplication of 16. Now you can see the stats on the screen, and of course, moo, we have a cow flying around. The Ramming Twister is going to be enchanted after casting a spell. Your next melee attack deals 40% damage with an increased knockback for moderate duration. And the Jacketed Twister on spell cast increased gun damage by 30% for 10 seconds. Both of the two Twisters that I have are going to be dealing both poison and cryo damage. And this is a fire and forget Conjura spell. So you just have to click your spell once and you're going to be able to fire and forget about it. Now you saw earlier in the gameplay, and you'll see throughout this gameplay, that the Twister twists in a general direction towards your enemies. It's a little bit slower than some other spells, but dealing two different types of elemental damages is absolutely fantastic. Despite the fact that mine deal poison and cryo, both of mine deal poison and cryo, I'm reading online that you can get the Twister with any two different types of elemental damages. So when you do get the Twister, you have a chance of dropping different elemental damages that aren't poison and cryo like mine. I do like poison and cryo because cryo slows enemies, which is always nice, and it works really well with the Twister in general because the Twister, on top of dealing two elemental damages to enemies, actually draws enemies into its radius. So like a Twister, it's going to twist enemies up. Of course, they have to be lesser enemies. You can't twist a boss and grab a boss and throw it. But you can see there that zombie got wrapped up in my Twister and thrown away, being carried away in my Twister. So what's really nice on top of the two elemental damages of the Twister is that when you're captured inside of a horde of enemies, or you have enemies charging towards you, you can actually push them away with your Twister, which is absolutely fantastic. So again, the Twister, I have poison and cryo, but from what I'm reading online, can come with any two different elemental types. I absolutely love my poison and cryo ones that I have. So if you want to grind for the Twister, of course, it's important to know where we can grind for each of our legendaries. Head over to the Weep Wild Dankness, and the Banshee is where you're going to be able to get a increased drop of the Twister. I know I've gotten some on my Chaos runs, so you can get the Twister there as well. But remember, Weep Wild Dankness and go on and take the Banshee, and you have an increased chance of dropping the Twister. So now that I've gone through the overview of the Twister, we can deal two different types of elemental damages, and we draw our enemies into our Twister and throw them away. I've also gone over where you can grind for this legendary spell. Let's get into Fate or Hate. Is this spell fated to be in your inventory, or should you throw it away? I absolutely love the Twister as it accomplishes multiple tasks while you're on the battlefield. It allows you to control the battlefield. Enemies charging at you, or when hordes of enemies are near you, you're able to push them away. On top of that, you're dealing 2 different elemental damages. If you have Frost like mine, you have a chance to slow enemies, which is even better because you're pushing them away, making it harder for them to get up close to you and deal extra damage if it's a close encounter enemy. Then you get the second elemental. I have Poison, so it's going to be dealing increased damage to armor. I absolutely love the Twister. It is one of my favorite spells to date, and I absolutely recommend you equip it and try it out because you're going to love it as much as I do. Let me know in the comments section what you think of the Twister, and until next time, peace.